So hello friends, I'm Chandan Kumar Mishra once sharing you my presentation again with you. It is about approach model for exploration of information analysis and interpretations. I've written it on 13th of July 2025 at my current residence Bhavanpura. Action like watching news broadcast on NewsX World TV channel, channel code 620 on Tata Sky. I have noticed few points and key highlights were as follows. Like Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO meeting availed avenues of diplomatic dialogues among India, Pakistan, China, Australia, and other members of the organization for peaceful order of governance into the Greater Asia region. Number two, Nigerian law enforcement actions through detention of agitators and anti-social elements aims to control civilian insurgencies and retain the credibility of the ruling government for assuring peaceful order of governance and social habitation. Number three, UN, United Nations approach of SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis continued with consultation advisory to the member nations affected from internal or border disputes. Number four, opening ceremony of the BRICS in Rio de Janeiro graced PM Modi of India with highest civilian award of Brazil in continuation after Ghana. Next, as inferred after analysis by reporter and experts that Gaza war may create future security challenges for Israel, thus advocates for peaceful diplomatic dialogues on multilateral institutions, lead diplomacy for conflict resolution, for pertinence of resilient peace at border and inside the armed conflict affected nations. A. If civilians are being approached by security forces in armed conflicts affected regions, rather detaining them unwantedly, acquire and hire them to work for the government. Number two, revolting fighters groups could be negotiated to change the course of their action, as rather fighting with their government, they may join armed forces to fight for their government. C. Immigrants from neighboring countries of armed conflicts affected regions into the either of the disputed country could be repatriated to their native nations or their safe stay must be assured at the place of their residence during the tenure of eruption of conflicts and its peaceful resolution. Next, refugees or migrated person from either of the dispute affected regions during forced territorial advancements could be protected from torture, detention, or deprivation of basic survival necessities into the area of their relocation by terming the area of their stay as United Nations governed or administered territory till the peaceful settlements of the issue of disputes and resumption of the normal friendly relationships among the concerned nations of their origin of migration is assured. Next, watching DD India News on 620 channel number on Tata Play, like glory of the united diversity of the demography and culture is promoted through a short film. An episode on Wellness Watch aims to signify the importance of timely vaccination for control of diseases. Along with childhood vaccination, adult vaccination is endorsed for expanding the community health care coverage. Vaccination immunes the diseased, ill, and immunocompromised people from infectious and non communicable diseases. Herd immunity is directly proportional to proportion of vaccination. Vaccinations are recommended for flu, COVID-19, influenza, diphtheria, mumps, pertussis, tetanus, etc. Hepatitis AIDS vaccinations are yet under clinical research and trial phases, perhaps. As reported by an expert, Dr. Geeta from RMLHI Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital, that mutations of the pathogens increases the vulnerability of sustained illness and drug resistance. Thus, prompt and targeted vaccination heals effectively. Universal immunization of hepatitis is aimed as reported by Dr. Abhishek Lady Harding Public Hospital. Vaccination improves the health and lifespan. Next, recommended vaccines for 19-year and old people. Number one, COVID-19, influenza, tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis, respiratory health illness, flu, human papillomavirus, pneumonia, dengue, rotavirus, malaria, tetanus, etc. Remarks. Interactive process of the learning, research and development are assured through listening, watching the TLMs, teaching learning materials, broadcasted offline in program, events or tutorial, and or through active engagement into the learning process by notes taking, writing the key contents broadcasted on media of IEC, Information, Education and Communication, and ICT, Information Communication Technology. Remarks. As per the experts' advice on vaccination, community level universal vaccination program for deprived in childhood or adult ages are recommended. Food supplementation with health care and safety of the food assures good health. Then I started watching BBC News on channel code on Tata Plus 633. An open interview and insights expression signified the utility of media reporting. Then, live from London news reports, a reporter named Nick expresses his empathetic testimony of eyewitnessed and informed news on killed kids in Gaza, Israel. Then witnessed a status of the sufferings of the injured and being treated was reported. Refugees were also attacked, harmed, injured, and killed due to the armed conflicts between Hamas and Israel authorities. However, armed clashes continues, but ceasefire efforts are enforced with promise to assure early peace retention declarations. Economic regulations by American President Donald Trump aims to control transportation of goods and people by tariff tools related regulation from Mexico and European Union especially mentioned. Will Grant from Mexico reports BBC from trade and tariff regulations related discussion between USA and Mexico to ease the tension and enable smooth trade facilitation. Note, footnotes Blinks also provides PowerPoint news. Panel discussion of the anchor with invited guest aims to discuss the pros and cons of tariff regulations related initiatives by Mr. Trump, USA President, and its impacts on global trade. Remarks. News analysis by all media houses by peer review would be productive to improve the advisory role of the Press Information Bureau, PIBs, of the member nations to the United Nations Correspondent Associations. Media and civilian urges government that don't let people die, support for survival. Then a report on excavation of the mass grave of children in Israel, Ireland, excavated from 1976, attention to detect inferences of abortion, mortality of children, and probabilities of epidemics due to certain disease or death due to the lack of immunity or starvation. Next, games and sports related news are also part and parcel of the public affairs. Bad Bunny Dictionary launched as reported by BBC. You can take notes. Then I started watching Al Jazeera channel code on Tata Sky 637, like prosthetics treatment by bionic arms replacement helped a patient to learn and work again. Kamal reported that bionics helps to treat injured of accident or armed attacked to work again with their replaced limbs. One Belt, One Route initiative of China could be joined by singular double gauge metro rail connectivity corridor by India somewhere nearby at Ladakh or Jammu and Kashmir to link with CPIAC China Pakistan India Economic Corridor and Arunachal Pradesh of the northeast states of India. Next, a documentary on livelihood and habitat related challenges and natural disaster related problems of the climate change related fluctuations of the seasonal cycle or submergence of the coastal area like in Dhaka in Australia or in other parts, Sundarban Delta area of Bangladesh and other coastal areas. Six evidence-based interventions by COP30 onto the sideline of BRICS and UN80 initiatives. Landfill sites and open sewage sites are prone to development of the communities of communicable pathogens. Thus, proper hygiene and sanitation related scientific solutions should be programmed and implemented promptly in response of the reports. Next is UNDRR, United Nations Disaster Risk Reductions related technical and financial consultations and NDRF, National Disaster Response Forces related consultations, technical and financial consultations and support to the disaster prone or affected regions could enable the concerned government to engage community for implementation of demand based supply service interventions and need assessment based supply of goods and services for recovery, rescue, rehabilitation, pre disaster preparedness support, and post disaster revival oriented course of actions and program implementation. Remarks. Desk review is the process of analytical review of pre-posted informatics about certain subject, object, or event. Desk review helps in simulation exercise of policy planning and program implementation. The process of keen observation sensitively enables the observer to select his opinion and perspectives in response to the observed reports through his or her narrations and interpretations of the script's audiovisual reports.